Let me take you back to my childhood. I'm of Italian descent, which means when I visited my grandparents, no matter what time of day or night, food would appear. Lots of it. And when we visited friends or relatives, south side of Detroit, more food would appear. In Italian, that's called an abbondanza. In English, we would use the word abundance. If it's food, we would use the Scandinavian word smorgasbord. Smorgasbord is what Toastmasters is to me. There's all these things. Some of them actually look yucky until you taste them. And to build on an analogy that Peggy Card taught me some years back, what we want to do in our clubs is make it so inviting, so enticing, that people flood in the front doors to our clubs to get to the smorgasbord. And we don't want them sneaking out the backyard until they've had their full of that smorgasbord. And some of us have been a Toastmaster for quite a number of years, and we still find more things off in the corner, over behind the pickled herring and so forth, to go try. Revitalized Education Program. To continue this analogy, it doesn't take anything off that smorgasbord. Now, some things, they're improving the recipe. So it'll be the same item, might look a little different, it'll taste better, maybe the calories are down. There's other things that are being added to that smorgasbord, some of which I'll tell you later in this talk. And most importantly, because some people have trouble navigating their way through all the options, especially when there's going to be more, there will be individualized paths through that smorgasbord to help each of us get faster to our goals, our objectives, our dreams. So these are our ways to visualize, if you will. Or if you're like me and you like Italian food, maybe you just kind of smell how Toastmasters is going to show up. Now, how many of you have picked up one of the cards in the back? On one side it says Quality Club. Okay, well, we've got to do better than that. Ellie's going to pass them out. Here's some more to pass out. Ellie Thompson, Lori Welcher, and I attended the district leader training 2 weeks ago in Denver. Now, I've been high ever since. Now, it's not because of certain legalization of certain devices and substances in the state of Colorado. It's because of the training, what we've learned about what's going on in Toastmasters. And one of the things we've learned is a new definition of a quality club. And that's what these cards are about. And I'd like to read it first all the way through myself, and then I'm going to have you read it the second time out loud. Clubs that encourage and celebrate member achievement, provide a supportive and fun environment, and offer a professionally organized meeting with variety. They demonstrate high quality. In those clubs, officers are trained, why are you here? Trained in all aspects of club quality to ensure that members have access to a formal mentoring program. That's not just the first 3 speeches. All members, every club, are provided evaluations that help them grow and are motivated to achieve their goals. Now, please stand. We're going to recite this together. If the CEO of Toastmasters can do this to Ellie, Lori, and I can do it here. So, join me. Clubs that encourage and celebrate member achievement, provide a supportive and fun environment, and offer a professionally organized meeting with variety, demonstrate high In those clubs, officers are trained in all aspects of club quality to ensure that members have access to a formal mentoring program, are provided evaluations that help them grow, and are motivated to achieve their goals. That part of the sermon's over. You can sit down. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Those cards. There's a whole bunch more in that. Take them to your clubs. Read this with your clubs, as I have with mine. The back side will come to you later in this talk. There's a lot in these words, and I encourage you to think about them. Over the last 2 weeks, I've had, of course, more time to think about what's on that page. And the longer I look at it, the more I'm impressed. Member achievement. As one of our past world champions have said, nobody joined Toastmasters to learn how to give a better speech at Toastmasters. We learn to become better speakers in the rest of our lives, better leaders in the rest of our lives. And so it's explicit in more in materials to come that member achievement does not just mean member achievement in Toastmasters. You have someone in your club that's given a great speech at Rotary, celebrate it. Someone who has been recognized with an award at work, recognize it. Motivate people to achieve. You are here because you want to be better leaders. Better leaders in your clubs and better leaders elsewhere in your lives. Every club benefits from engaged, informed club officers and district officers. Any of your officers that aren't here, what are we going to do about that?
Scold it.
Okay, scold it. Linda, what else are we going to do with it?
We're going to talk to them.
We're going to talk to them. We're going to arrange makeup training. We're going to make them feel guilty just a tiny bit that they missed the opportunity to learn in the next several hours what you folks are going to learn. Because they will better serve their clubs the more engaged and informed they are. The bottom line of the Revitalized Education Program, as District Governor Ellie, Lieutenant Governor Marketing, Lori, and I put our heads together, everything we know. The principles, content, the objectives, the items on those smorgasbords, they're the same. Club meetings remain the same. But the emphasis is going to change from completing manuals to acquiring skills. For example, there will be more emphasis on assessment of whether people have learned skills. I mean, one can complete a CC manual and learn nothing. One can complete any manual and learn nothing. There will be more assessment of what we have each learned. Same applies on the leadership track. There are now sets of skills to be an area governor, division governor, district governor. We'll be assessing in some manner how people are progressing toward demonstrating those skills. They haven't given it to us yet, but I suspect the same will eventually come out at the club officer level. And this isn't because it's a work evaluation. It's because we want to make sure that we're all improving, we're all growing. So just as you get evaluated in your manuals, we'll be evaluating even more all through the program. Everything you do now, everything you learn now, remains valid. Your skills don't disappear because the ed program is going to change. Your skills are still your skills. Education awards carry over. Victor Hernandez has 7 DTMs. When this gets rolled out in late 2015, you will still have 7 DTMs, unless he earns another one between now and then. We'll have at least 2 years of overlap, so there'll be plenty of time to finish the manuals you've got now and individual by individual transition to the new program. So don't worry, no sweating. This is an improvement, not a replacement. And we think this is going to really energize the organization. Personally, I have long felt that Toastmasters is the world standard in communication training. Based on what I now know, I think it will become the world standard in leadership training as well. We lose nothing, we gain much. Now, some of the features. This material is off on the TI website. Learning paths tailored to each individual person's goals. Now, how are they going to know that? They haven't figured out how to tap into Dick's brain.
Good.
Good, yes. This is not the NSA, this is Toastmasters. Okay? Instead, everyone will take a survey. And that survey will help identify what goals you have, what skills you need for those goals, and how to get through the smorgasbord to get those skills. Now, one of the ways we're going to prepare for this is we're going to encourage all the clubs to do member interest surveys. Item 403. Who recently has done a member interest survey? I see 3 hands. 6 months from now, what's going to be the case? Everyone in this room is going to raise their hand, right? Go back to your clubs, get your clubs to do a member interest survey. After all, how do we serve our members' objectives if we, as club officers, I'm a sergeant at arms myself, if we as club officers don't know what the objectives are of our members, how do we serve those objectives? So let's find out what those members' objectives are. Furthermore, by asking those questions now, having those surveys out now, you get people thinking about their current objectives so that they're better prepared to go into the Revitalized Education Program when it rolls out. It's a clear path toward recognition and achievement awards. I'll say more about that in a minute. This is going to scare some of you. More technology. Now, what does that mean? Well, here's a couple of examples. Billy, you're going to go up to one of your friends and explain what vocal variety is. How are you going to do that?
Explain to that person what
Vocal variety is.
your voice is a musical instrument. It's just not singing.
Okay.
So you have to use the same type of things. Loud, soft sounds.
Might you modulate your own voice to demonstrate that skill? In the Competent Communicator Manual now, how do we teach vocal variety? Words on a page. You go out to the TI website now, there are already 17 educational video clips with many, many more to come that are going to show. So that instead of just reading words on a page when it comes to vocal variety, body language, and all kinds of other things, there's video clips, audio clips. We're going to move into the 21st century, guys! Okay? Yeah! Thank you, Peg. Because how do you explain to someone who's blind what they can't see? You're going to hear things. You're going to see things. Particularly for clubs that may not have a lot of visitors, I think this is going to be real improvement. Because you'll have high-class examples to watch. The levels of achievement. Right now we have the CC, the CL, and the XYZ, the ABC. In the new program, we'll have these 5 levels of achievement. When you complete these 5 on a learning path, it'll be 50 or 60 learning paths. Again, which ones apply to you depend on your objectives. When you complete this set of achievement levels, you will be a DTM of the new type. Mastering fundamentals. Well, gee, what's going to be in there? The icebreaker is the first thing. Much of what's in the CC manual will be in there because those are fundamentals. Learning your style, building your skill. Key word in both of those, your. One of my favorite examples in explaining to people that Toastmasters is not intended to make us all sound and look the same. Consider Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King, two of the best communicators and leaders of the 20th century. Could they have given each other's speeches? Anyone think they could? Would it have been effective? No, King drew on his experiences. I've walked in a church in Atlanta where he was a preacher and his daddy before him. That's part of who he was. The same thing with Gandhi, the same with all of us. So we all have a style, and we should never lose that style. We should expand it, improve it. So we're going to learn our styles, we're going to build our skills, then demonstrating knowledge and accomplishing goals. Now, the details, they're not out there yet. But this is going to show, I hope, each of us how well we're doing in acquiring skills, style, and accomplishing our goals. Now, what are we going to do in District 15 to prepare? I told you that we think this will roll out in late 2015. You've heard that story probably the last couple of years with different rollout dates. Well, they want to make sure they get it right. We all want to make sure we get it right. It's in testing, there's more development, so we're going to make sure it gets right before it goes out. But we know enough to do things in our clubs to prepare ourselves, prepare our members, prepare our clubs. And you know what? Everything on this list is a good thing to do, even if the Revitalized Ed program disappeared tomorrow morning. Mentoring programs. Do you know that all the international directors, international officers have mentors? The world champions all have mentors? And all those people are mentors to other people? Now, if they benefit from a mentor and serve others by being mentors to them, what about the people in this room? How many people here have a mentor? Good. That's the best I've seen as I've given this talk. Next time I ask you, I want every hand to go up. Every Toastmaster in every club deserves a mentor. How many people in this room are a mentor to somebody else? That's even better. Now this one is starting off very well in the Toastmaster department. Way to go. Evaluate her on her CC, and if necessary, I'll sign it. Way to go. Member interest surveys I already mentioned. Moments of truth. You all know what's required in the Distinguished Club program, right? Goal 1 is 2. Goal 3? Leader award. Advanced communicator. I skipped ahead. Goal 4? Another one. Goal 5? Leader award. Goal 6? Okay. Goal 7? At least 4 members. Goal 8? 4 more members. Goal 9 and 10? Training, officer list, getting your dues in time so that you don't cause your district officers to have heart attacks. Been there. Right? Well, there's going to be 2 more things coming to the expectations of a distinguished club. One of them is Moments of Truth. It's a program, and we'll be sending out information because Robert found a good 2-page PDF of it, and so we'll be distributing that. Moments of truth. Who's been through a moments of truth in their clubs? Pretty good. Hey, you want to say a word or two about how that helped your club?
Unfortunately, the one example I can think of isn't a good example.
Okay, well. I've seen it done in a couple of different clubs, and it's helped in all cases. It can be led by a club president. It can be led by anyone in the club. It can be long or short. Robert, you want to add something?
A real important takeaway in our club was the difference between what the club officers thought and what the members thought. As we did it, there was some argument where officers were saying, but we do this. And the members were saying, but I've never seen it.
My story along those lines is I was part of a group of 5 that started a club at my place of work. We were all past club presidents. We had a past district governor, past area governor. I was the area governor at the time. We thought we were doing, same story as Robert. We thought we were explaining everything to our brand new club. And guess what? We weren't. Several months into the club, eventually it got through our thick skulls. Nope, we were not explaining things anywhere near as much as we thought we had. Moments of truth. Do it in the next 6 months. Find out where your club thinks it is, rather than what you as a club officer thinks it is. It might be painful the first time. And you're going to do it again in the fall, because the expectation probably will be to do moments of truth in every club twice a year. That's not hard and cast in stone.
So how do you conduct it? How do you conduct a moment of truth session?
One of the ways, well, first off, there's a main form, and it's 6 items, and Robert probably remembers what they are, and I don't. So why don't you rattle them off?
They're the 6 areas of the area government report. So the welcoming environment, I can look at my notes, my environment, recognition, variety of meetings, governance, which is, are you starting on time, ending on time? Who are the others? They're not coming to me.
So what you do is you go through those with your club. I've seen it done in 40 minutes, in 2 meetings, half and half. I'm sure it's supposed to be done. The official one is 3 hours, 2 hours. It depends on the club. It's essentially a set of questions that everyone in the club should answer. And then you get together and discuss those answers and find out, as in Robert's example or in my example, are people in the same club, or are they in different parallel universes that, people don't see the same experience? Did that answer your question, at least or not? Yes.
I have an add-on to that question. Do you find people are more open and honest in a discussion face-to-face, or doing a moment of truth survey sort of through like the Survey Monkey electronic thing you send out?
I think the dynamics, of course, will depend on any club. No 2 clubs have the exact same culture. The process, the benefit of the process revolves around discussion. So even if it's an electronic discussion at first, it still has to be a group discussion. My home club, Rise and Shine, we chose a non-officer, an elderly lady that would not hurt a flea, and no one was going to get mad at. Brian, I believe you were the one that convinced Dorothy to lead a Moments of Truth. Okay. So she was a neutral person. She wasn't a current officer. She didn't have any agenda as facilitator other than follow the instructions. Okay. Challenge our members. The ED program is going to do that. All of us. Challenge your members. In my home club, we have one fellow who went 18 years to finish his CC. Quick. Yeah, quick study. What happened was eventually a couple of us realized that, you know, this guy's been a Toastmaster 18 years, he hasn't finished his CC. We did an intervention with him. And for 3 meetings in a row, we just kind of gently said, Jeff, when are you going to finish your CC? And a week later, Jeff, when are you going to finish your CC? And guess what? It got finished. And his skills have gone up. Club success plans, another thing that's going to be expected in Distinguished Club Program. Club success plans. We have, this district's ahead of the game, we have, thanks to Helga, we have that working in the District 15 website. More than half the clubs have their success plans for this year on the website. Whose clubs, of the people here? I know, I'm going to embarrass you. Too bad. Whose clubs have success plans for this current year? Okay? You want to do that. Because the odds of success go up if you plan for it. I can't say this enough, therefore I put in another slide to make sure I said it again. Every Toastmaster deserves a mentor. Everyone. The brand new member, person who's been a member for 30 years. My home club, we had a wonderful discussion yesterday. And an elderly gentleman, Lisa and Brian, this is Les. At one point, he piped up and said, everyone in this club is my mentor. So we gave him a rouse of applause. Those of you who have met Les, let's just say he describes himself as a grumpy old man. And for him to say such a sweet thing, it's meant a lot. Every Toastmaster deserves to be in a distinguished club. Now here's a trick question. Who has money to burn?
No matter how much you have, you don't have any to burn.
Who has time to waste? Who has energy to waste? Man, I'm not seeing any hands for those questions. That must mean when you go to Toastmasters, you want to get as much out of that Toastmaster meeting as you possibly can, right? You've paid your dues. You want to get the most from those dues as you possibly can. How many people think that all the members of your club want to get the most from their member experience as they possibly can? Okay? The way we measure that, we now have 2 ways. One is the club distinguished? And the other, you read yourselves earlier, quality clubs. And these will get blended together, I'm sure, in the Revitalized Ed program. Now, some upcoming events. May 15 and 16 in Boise is the next district conference. There are flyers in the back, glitzandgrammar.org. So their Division A is the host. We'll have more information, I suspect, by then on the Ed program. October of this year, Division B will again host it in Elko. And we got a special surprise. Our keynote speaker for that conference is former past international president Pat Johnson. Pat Johnson, if you read your recent Toastmaster magazine, is a past international president and one of the ones most instrumental in
Revitalized Education Program.
Revitalized Education Program. And we're going to have her at our conference. By the way, she was an excellent leader. When I saw her at the Vegas 2011 conference, I was extremely impressed. Then next May, Division C will again host it. And we're deciding between Eastern Idaho and Northern Utah in terms of where. And then we've got another bonus, August 12 and 15. What's August mean to a Toastmaster? Heat. Okay. And August in Vegas means cooked. Cooked. Right. Ellie, what does it mean to you?
To me,
August 12th through the 15th means that's when District 15 goes down and celebrates President's Distinguished District. The whole district. I want everybody to go down there and show, well, strut our stuff, actually.
Okay, it's the International Convention. Look, guys, it doesn't get any closer. I mean, last year was Malaysia. The year after, it'll be in D.C., and who knows where it'll be after that. International Convention is a life-changing event. It certainly was for me. You want to be there, and because we're going to be a President's Distinguished District, we all will get to follow Ellie across the stage with a banner celebrating that accomplishment. Because it's a collective responsibility, a collective accomplishment. When we do all these things, we take a strong organization and kick it up a couple of notches. We'll truly be able to say, Toastmasters, where communicators are born, leaders are made, and community found. Thank you.